Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the first edition of the Final Third podcast. Okay, we're going to be covering just really quickly. This is going to be just a reaction to the PSG game against Barcelona that happened last night. And what a wonderful game for the football fans, neutrals all the way, except for Barcelona fans, of course. Right off the bat, let's just cover some narrative topics. Okay, so you've got Barcelona after having a decent run in the league, coming into this game, really trying to carry that form on. And they could have really used it, a statement just to try to shut down some of the conversations going on around Barcelona, their crisis. I know something came out about their debts and things like that, with Messi also trying to leave. And, they've had a whole lot of scandals over the past year that they'd otherwise like to turn around, especially with a headline of having a great win on the European stage. PSG, on the other hand, they've got a new coach, Mauricio Pochettino. Obviously, we know what he does. Someone who's quite respected in the football game, not necessarily as decorated as some otherwise think he should be. But again, we can get into the conversation of Tottenham and everything to do with that. So the stage was set. Both teams had something to play for, and it was interesting just to see how these teams were going to set up. Ronald Koeman sort of put Barcelona back into the traditional 4-3-3 setup after having a little bit of a experiment with a 4-2-3-1 and various additions of having a double six in the team. But PSG, obviously, with Pochettino came out with his classic. I think he's obviously played a few formations this time, but he has tended to go with a 4-2-3-1 in games where he's needed to absolutely make sure he's comfortable. And you would have thought, given that, Poch would come into this game then looking to be conservative, perhaps try playing on the counter-attack with Mbappe and, try perhaps get one goal or at that, try go away with a draw. Since this is a game at the Camp Nou, you don't mind taking that, go back to the Parc des Princes, take it from there, see what you can do with a win. But this is not how the game went at all. Right out the gate, it was a bit cagey. First 10 minutes, 15 minutes, teams going back and forth. Not really too much midfield defense, I do have to say. Transitionally, it was pretty much just lose the ball, go attack, lose the ball, go attack. Neither team really had any of their midfielders putting in a shift to really break down any build-up or anything like that. Even Idrissa Gana Gueye, who normally is astute at doing things like that, had a bit of an off game. In fact, picked up a yellow card in the first 45. In fact, could have been taken off because he did get away with two more after that, I do believe. But Poch quickly realised this, and at half time he did take him off. But as the build-up was going on, this is the first 35 minutes or so, you do end up having Barcelona win a penalty. A bit soft in my opinion, but by the letter of the law, it is a penalty. There is contact. You have De Jong making a deep run. It's not tracked. He ends up getting tripped over. He falls over. VAR has a look at it. They're happy with it. Penalty goes ahead. You've got Messi, of course, at the spot. This is a story all of us have heard before. He puts it away. And Barcelona are up after a pretty, intense first few minutes. Barcelona ended up having what I wouldn't expect. I wouldn't say against the run of play, but they've got the lead. But moving on from there, it was interesting to see PSG's response, because Pochettino didn't have these guys carry on or let their heads fall down or anything like that. They literally came right out the blocks sharp, pretty much trying to get an instant response. And they were rewarded. Pretty much a few minutes later, you got Verratti with an absolutely spectacular assist. Some things I haven't seen Verratti do in a while, he was doing in this game. Excellent. Really times tackles in the middle of the box, really great passes, but this was some of the best of his work that game. He finds Mbappe in the in a post box worth of room, okay, and he literally takes it down on his right foot, hard ball to take down, puts it on his left, drifts in, shoots it full power on his left foot, and fires it past it, staying in 1-1. So now the game's back in action. Now it's back in the balance, and it was interesting to see having PSG have an instant response, how Barcelona's response would be then at that point. Just in terms of looking at the two teams' mentality, right? But Barcelona seemed to have had their confidence knocked out of them as soon as that goal went in, right? Didn't really have them come out really trying to straight away get their lead back on. There was a bit of fear and tension in each way they were passing and dribbles, and a bit of just a lack of self-belief. On the opposite side, you had PSG pretty much turn the pressure up. And this could be seen even going into the second half when they came back out. Instead of, obviously, as you can imagine, Barcelona are at home. They but they would prefer to have the win here and then go to Parc des Princes and try to, consolidate the victory. PSG came out just playing football, man. They came out still high press. You had Kimpembe literally sometimes sitting 5 yards or so past this halfway line just to maintain that press. And Barcelona just couldn't handle it. It ends up being the case that PSG win a free kick, actually, far up in the Barcelona third, which ends up turning into a Moise Kean free header, which is surprising considering Barcelona have got quite good players in the air at the back. You've got PK, you've got Lenglet, who's no slouch. But again, this is a problem with the actual team themselves. People weren't really picking up their man. There wasn't a lot of, I'll get this guy, you get that guy. Normal team synergy things seem to have been a bit lacking in this game, and they conceded. Again, Moise Kean, just to give credit to him, he had been working out all game, a goal that he probably deserved. I'll be honest with you, he was doing a lot of the dirty work, shall we say, backing down players, holding it up, making the runs, even tracking back on defense. So it was good to see the young man obviously come get on the score sheet, especially on the UCL. But anyway, so after this goal, PSG are now surprisingly 2-1 up, and the game is looking now a lot different. Barcelona 2-1 down at their home. PSG now resurging, actually, because now they're actually increasing the pressure after this second goal, in fact, and they carry on pushing. So Barcelona, while they were a little bit lethargic, they did at some point try to take control of the game again. They did try, consolidate possession, try push it up the pitch, try working the half spaces and try create something. But again, they sort of forgot that PSG did still have that, power to just counter you. Fair enough, they were playing positive football, but don't ever sleep on Mbappe, especially as part of a counter-attacking team. So Barcelona have some sustained pressure. PSG get the ball off them, and they move really, really quickly. I do have to give credit to, I do believe, actually, it escapes me, and I'm not sure who quite made the pass right, but they ended up getting into the Barcelona box quite quickly. A shot is taken, it's saved, but it falls right to Mbappe, man. And again, this is something that, again, it's a lucky goal. If you look at it, it just falls right to his feet. He puts it away, good finish. But again, it comes to the benefits of playing such positive football, keeping it in the opponent's third, and trying to keep that high press going and being dedicated to pressing as soon as you lose the ball. There is definitely a lot of value in that if done properly. So now we're looking at 3-1 up. PSG literally not letting up. Barcelona literally falling down and down. Into more and more like of a miserable posture. Players looking down, no one really showing for the ball. People really now trying to hide behind different players and things like that. And especially someone like Messi, for example, who normally take the burden of this. You could tell in his body language as well that even him, he felt like he wasn't getting enough from his teammates around him, which I really don't blame him for. But carrying on, this sort of was the tale of the rest of the game. You had PSG pretty much controlling possession, carrying on. Barcelona at one point did realise they did have to try and get at least one goal or at least 2 goals to try and make themselves competitive for the second leg. But unfortunately, same thing happens again. They lose possession, don't really transition well to try and get the ball back. And I'll be honest with you, like, just these phases of play that really hurt them, these transitionary phases, I feel like can really be put down to Barcelona's squad at the moment. It's quite an aging squad. Players like PK, Busquets, they don't have that turn of pace. I mean, they never relied on pace before, and their IQ sort of compensated for that, but there is a threshold to that type of thing, and I think I think they're living on borrowed time at the moment. I'll be honest with you. It seemed to me with the athleticism that PSG had at their disposal, it just seemed too much for Barcelona to handle. A little side note for Kimpembe as well of the PSG team. He had an absolutely outstanding game, marshalling his defense and being vocal. Him alongside with Keylor Navas really made sure that defense didn't let up any type of real clear-cut opportunities. Because again, think about it, up until this point, Barcelona haven't created anything super significant aside from the penalty, which again some will say was soft. So final just words again, PSG great game, Mbappe hat-trick, spectacular, absolutely great finish, again after he got the assist from Draxler, put it away, absolutely great. However, Barcelona do have work to do. They already knew they had an aging squad. It's something that they've definitely had to look at over the last 2-3 seasons. But with their financial reports coming out in regards to obviously the situation they're in, some things are now coming to light as to why the Barcelona we have now is not in any shape or form close to the Barcelona we otherwise would have seen in the 2010s. So yeah, 100% looking forward to this second leg. We've seen Barcelona turn these things around again. I don't want to completely just say this game is done. PSG on to the next stage, but it does look like it is pretty much locked up, considering that Neymar and Di Maria'a are going to be back in the second game.